I hate when you say words out loud.
What?
They make me so upset.
Welcome back to another episode of Enter the Nerdom. I'm here with my co-host,
Stan Morrissey.
Gummy Watson!
And I am the terrible, marable, that's a made-up word, Chad Cook.
What the hell was that, Chad?
Oh, that's my new magic slide whistle that I got.
Yeah, everybody thought that we were playing around, but we actually got Chad a slide
very
whistle.
serious. So get ready for episodes upon episodes of slide whistle, folks.
And if they didn't tune out yet. Can I have one for
We
every
got
time
a
you make
gimmick!
joke?
Yep, that's the plan.
And today we have Dan Mason with us back on the show. Thank you for coming on,
Hey
Dan.
guys, welcome back. Thank you. Welcome to my show. It's good that I have you all back. Thank you.
Thank you for having us on.
yeah,
Thank you for having us
Dan.
on. Really appreciate
Glad
it.
to be here.
Yeah.
That's why on Enter the Dandom. How you guys doing? How's everyone feeling?
We're doing well, man. How are you?
I'm good. I'm living the dream, baby. This
Yeah?
is it. You're looking at it.
Exactly.
I'm just a little pissed off I don't have a slide whistle to And if we could just have a t-shirt made of his face when he does it, that would
yes.
be perfect
that'd be
for
good.
me. Thank you. I'll
That'd be
take it
good.
in a jersey.
That's a gift waiting to happen.
Yeah, an extra large hockey jersey, please.
Or we just need a even larger whistle, and it's just obnoxiously big around.
I think it's called a trombone.
That's the next thing.
That's the Pokemon evolution of a slide whistle is a trombone.
Trombone.
But, well, at least then you could play a couple more notes. You could be like, burp, burp, burp.
True.
Or maybe we should just go straight to a tuba. You know?
Why not?
If you up your game every episode, I guarantee that's a reason to tune in.
You're just going to have like a full 6-piece band behind
Yeah,
you.
a little xylophone, like.
It's no longer just a talk podcast.
No.
It's like a musical introductory.
Exactly.
I'll be like that video of the guy with the cartoon piano that has all the knobs and whistles and pulleys and stuff. If
I
you've
know what
seen
you're
that.
talking about.
Yeah,
Yes.
where he's just playing like.
I can only think of Mr. Bean when you do it like that, though.
I mean, it would be more like Mr. Bean.
I think Blue Man Group for some reason. But
yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, we're here to talk to Dan about multiple things, or talk with Dan, not talk to Dan, because
we're going to talk down to Dan.
we're going to talk down to Dan.
Don't do it on my own show.
Yeah. Talk all things Dandom.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Enter the
Enter
Dandom.
the Dandom.
Enter the Dandom.
Sponsored by Wendy Williams Show.
I'm not going to ask why.
What's
Finally got a
going on?
sponsor.
Every time,
Sorry. You guys were laughing, so I wasn't sure if that was bad or.
Yeah, that would be a shame to interrupt the laughter for something funny.
But we're here to talk to Dan about One Piece.
Yeah.
Specifically
Yes.
Netflix One Piece, which has recently come out, and all of us have watched except for Chad. Of
Except
course.
for me.
Except for Chad. Except for Chad. But we've watched a
I've watched
good
a
chunk
bit.
of the
He's aware
anime,
of-
right?
Yeah, I'm aware, and I've watched some of the anime and
Yeah.
stuff, so I won't be too lost.
Okay.
But Dan, you're not allowed to reference the anime in any capacity. You're
Wow.
you're only allowed to talk about the live action.
No.
No.
Chad's going to talk completely about the anime. We're just going to watch you
But
explode.
I'm the one that watched the anime. He saw 2 episodes 12 years ago.
And that's all the research we need on
That's
the
all.
show.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, yeah. We, I don't know if this is behind the curtain. You can cut this or whatever. We used to be on a podcast called Raised by Tunes. And we would do our research on the shows that were like a little less familiar. But a lot of the times we would just like go from memory from like 15 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
And
That's
a
fun,
lot
yeah.
of the episodes were like, hey, remember the time?
I was like, oh, that was pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I listened to one of your episodes, a couple of your episodes.
Are they still out there? Are
One
they
with-
still-
yeah.
I believe some of them are
probably
still
One of
on
the
YouTube.
episodes, Chad is just talking to Freddy Krueger's voice the entire time.
No, I think that was a friend of ours. We had him as Freddy Krueger.
Oh, was that? I thought that was you.
know.
I forget.
There was a
I'm
Halloween
pretty sure it was you.
episode
There
that
was
went a
it a
little
Halloween episode?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was That was our buddy Carmine, who he played Freddy Krueger and stuff. But
I also saw the new Tiny Toons.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
That, but One Piece, yes.
But I will say, during our old podcast, you were not watching any anime at the time.
No.
So it was very foreign to you.
Even until the pandemic, the only anime I saw was like the Frieza saga after school, and missed a lot of portions because like it was so long. You know?
And they kept like redo. I remember just watching it, and like Toonami would just keep bringing it back around.
Yeah. And if I did happen to catch Toonami in any way, I wouldn't actively go seek it. But if I saw it, most of the stuff would be when I woke up drunk at like 3 a.m. in college and be terrified of what like was visually happening on the screen. Like I think Paranoia Agent showed up at that time when I was in college, and it would freak me out to wake up to those. But I'd go to sleep watching Johnny Bravo, so it was very strange for me.
I gotta give it. Adult Swim did bring over a lot of cool anime that probably no one would have watched. If it wasn't for Toonami
and now I love Paranoia Agent. Like when you actually sit down and watch the whole thing, it's like a really brilliant psychological thriller about like consumerism. But to answer your question or your statement about watching anime back then, if you blow it, I swear to God.
Because if something gets too long-winded, Chaz is there like,
It's like playing me off at the Oscars. There's something very offensive about it.
I would love just a slide whistle to get people off at the Oscars. Just like,
if I hear it, I'm going to leave. But yeah, it's a very new thing. I think I talked about this the last time I was here, but that wasn't a Dungeons and Dragons thing. But like anime is relatively new, and I keep discovering these new things. But One Piece was always this massive undertaking. It was always this thing I didn't want to approach because how could I possibly catch up with 1,000+ episodes? It's there's so much other things to watch, and it's time consuming. Like I didn't want to. But then eventually I was like, you know what? I was really like in a drought for new material, and I was like picking things randomly, and they weren't working out. So I eventually got to One Piece. The first episode, I was like, oh, this is like fun. This is fun. And it felt, the reason I kept with it for so long was because it felt like an early 90s cartoon show. Like through the animation and like the voice acting, it seemed like it. But then you catch a snag on that one storyline, like right in the beginning, and it just piques your interest the entire time. You blink and you're 400 episodes in. You blink again, you're 700 episodes in. Right now I'm about to hit episode 900.
Wow.
I'm not even caught up with the damn show yet.
Oh my God.
But but the characters, it's so rare to have an entire cast of characters that you love, and there's no like boring side B stories.
Is there sorry to cut you off, but is there a particular character that like as soon as you heard like that story you're like, oh, I'm in? Or
yes, early on, and this will come back to the Netflix one as well. Early on, Usopp in the anime, he has a large nose, and he's their sniper. He tells tales to this sick girl outside her window to cheer her up, because this is spoilers for everybody for the Netflix series.
We're gonna spoil the hell out of the Netflix show.
And some of
pretty much this whole episode's gonna be spoilers.
It's also, if we say something, it's spoilers. But
for a 25-year-old
she's being poisoned by the butler. For once, the butler did do it, and she's been slowly being poisoned by the butler so he could get her riches. And Usopp finds this, but he's like a very boy who cried wolf story, because his dad left to become a pirate, so he became very obsessed with them in his youth, and he kept saying pirates were coming because he wanted his dad to come back. And when no one believed him anymore, there were pirates here because the butler was a pirate hiding out to kill this girl to get her fortune. So it's this beautiful like emotional story of like they won't believe him. He has so much love for this girl. Like, what do you do when no one is on your side, and then the Straw Hat Pirates come? And it's so triumphant. You feel so many different emotions for this, and like, I will say that was the first time that pulled me in, which Netflix has an episode. I think it was like one of the earlier episodes, like 3 or 4, where they show this, and it's an amazing episode. Yeah. And I will say this, in Netflix's favor, I don't want to be the only one shouting here, but in Netflix's favor, the way they adapted the anime to trim, I'm not even going to say the fat, because the stuff in the anime is all useful. And everything that comes back 700, 800 episodes later is mind-blowing, how the details stick to this. But the stuff they trimmed and the stuff that comes up later in the story that they brought earlier to introduce, that just cleans it up. It polishes the story they already had, and it makes it so narratively compelling. And I was blown away, because raise your hand if you think Netflix is going to do a successful anime adaptation.
Right.
No one's hand is up.
Yeah.
It blew my mind. I will say this one I won't spoil, just because I think everyone should go into this on their own. But there is one character this part's a spoiler, but not what he does. Eventually, there is a crew member named Brooke, and he is a skeleton musician and also a swordsman. And his story is so beautiful. I wept when I watched that storyline. I wept. I haven't been emotionally touched in years. It was such a beautiful story with something that happened in episode 5.
Wow.
And he came in 600 episodes in. It was nuts. So these little things that pop up in the anime, nothing is fodder.
Yeah.
And if you think it's just a casual thing that is just to, get us from A to B, when it comes back and it means everything, it's the secret piece of the puzzle that everyone's been looking for. You stand up like it's a football game.
So in your eyes, watching the entire series now, there's nothing you would cut, because I don't know if you heard of One Pace at all.
One Pace?
One Pace. So there's a website.
Is it Pace. Dragon Ball Z Kai?
No, it's well, I don't know what.
It's like when they shorten Dragon Ball Z.
Yes,
exactly
what it is. Yeah. So someone edited the show and if you go to One Pace, you can watch it the entirety of the show, but they've edited out what they consider is the fat of the show and just gets the main story beats. But if you're saying there's no fat really in the show,
well, okay, let's say I'm on 900 episodes right now. I am not caught up, and the story is not even close to done. They still have 5 more years left of story.
Jeez.
So
is the manga done? Is the actual book done?
No.
So, wow.
But it's nearing.
It's nearing. He has the ending, and he's getting there.
Okay.
For the show or for the
was Ochiro Aida? Is that who did the manga?
I want to say that's correct, but I don't want to be.
You're gonna have
either.
a bunch of angry fans, but it's your show.
That's the name.
But
the name's underneath.
He has a vision for these things, right?
Yeah.
And the fact that he knows where it's going to go and he has the bridge to get there makes me take your time. I've seen so many things rushed. And
right. You don't want a Game of Thrones situation.
Exactly. Just take your time.
Well, when you have 900 plus episodes, I think you have all the time in the world, really.
Right.
Exactly. But so you guys watched the show. What were your initial things? Because you haven't seen the anime, except Chad, who's seen a few.
I've seen a few.
And a few.
Yeah.
I actually, after watching the Netflix show, was interested enough to watch the pilot episode of the anime.
Yeah.
So I was like, I wonder how close it is, and amazingly how close they did it.
Because they kept such wacky bullshit in.
Yeah. Right, because there's stuff like, the fishmen and sheep people and, and you're just
prosthetics are amazing.
How are they going to, do that? Because that's stuff they could easily, that sheep guy, you could have taken him and just made him a regular guy. He didn't have to be part of sheep. Right?
But he was.
And it's never really talked about. It's not like.
But because that's their world they live in. Yeah. And the fact that they don't address it.
Yeah.
The fact that, the reason fish people are so heavily specified is because it's an allegory for their race.
Yeah.
Which comes into play also in the Netflix show. But comes more into play later on, too. But that's why it's so specific. But otherwise, you're going to have half human, half animal people just walking around, and that's just the world they live in.
Yeah.
It's a fascinating place.
And I mean, I do like what the Netflix show did. I mean, maybe it's just because I watched the dub version, but Luffy was a real dick in the first episode.
That's exactly how I thought. Yeah.
Like to Cody, like I think we talked about.
Yeah, we
this,
talked about it. Yeah,
where just like he just talks shit to him when they first meet, and then
he's like, oh wow, you're a coward. I hate you, and he's just like laughing at him, and I'm just like. And I get this again. This is the '90s, but I was like, how am I supposed to root for this character? He's kind of a dickhead. But in the Netflix show, he's not like that at all. He's positive from the very get go.
Yeah,
and then so like
there's like a bit of a naivete about him.
Yeah, exactly. He says what's on his mind.
Yeah,
in the anime, but on the TV show, he's more compassionate towards the people around him. Like I thought one of the greatest things about the anime, the live action show was. At one point, he's talking to what's his friend?
Zoro.
No, the guy who wants to be a Marine.
Colby.
Colby.
Yeah.
He's talking to Colby, and they're sitting there and they're looking up at the stars. And at one point, he says, there's just like there's good pirates, there's bad pirates, and just like there's good Marines, there's bad Marines. And he looks at him and he goes, "You'll be a good one."
Yeah.
And I said, "Oh man, like that right there, like the live version's got me right there." As soon as he said that, I was like, "It's got me." Because it was just such a touching thing to say to somebody who has been like kind of kicked around his whole life. Luffy realizes he's been kicked around his whole life, and then he says, "Well, my dream is to be a Marine." Well, then go for it, man. You'll be a good one.
Yeah, he's not trying to get him to join him.
Exactly. He's just trying to encourage him to be, what he wants to be. And I was like, okay, I'm sold with this guy.
I think he came off that way in the anime to you because, obviously, since there's 900 episodes, he has time to.
Develop
as a person.
Exactly.
And they had to rush it for the show.
Right.
But if you think about it, he's been by himself on the ocean for how long until he meets like new people.
Yeah.
So he's not going to have the social skills that a normal person would have until he starts growing.
Right.
With them. So I think that's
he's a post-pandemic pirate. Is what you're trying to say?
Probably, yeah. That would be a good way to go about it. But
and Luffy in the anime is also like so the one thing between the anime and the live action, which is not a bad thing. I actually like the direction they're going. Mm-hmm. But in the anime, Luffy is like a hot-headed sort of like...
Yeah.
He happens to do things that are aligned with being on a good person, but he has no ambitions of being a hero. He doesn't think they were good pirates.
Yeah.
He wants to be a pirate. He just happens to think people are being assholes and he wants to punch them. Because so it just happens to be that he's aligning with, he's like a chaotic good.
Yeah.
In the show, he's definitely much more of a positive character, but that's them taking an overall arc of Luffy from the anime and sort of giving it, like putting
compressing
it. Yeah.
So now is Luffy in the anime to the show, the episodes you're caught up? Is he more like his the live action movie?
Luffy never changes.
No. Okay.
So in shonen animes, every protagonist is literally just, I want to punch that thing and eat meat. It's antagonist that wants to eat a lot of food and then punch something that's doing bad things. So Luffy is always very much that. The best parts of Luffy are these little minor bits after fights or something where like he says that thing like in the live action about Colby and you'll be a good one. He has those moments sprinkled in all over, which makes you love him. And it's the rest of the crew that kind of pulls the weight of like being the heart.
Yeah, I noticed that with the show too, where I mean, you did get more backstory about like Luffy in the live action. You see him as a kid, with Captain Shanks and his need to be a pirate and dealing with his grandfather and stuff like that. But it didn't. Yeah, when you get to like the Zoro's episode where you find out like his promise to be the greatest sword fighter, or Nani's backstory with her sister and everything like that. I mean, those are really like, those got me. Yeah,
absolutely. There's tons of tragedies that they're all coming from a place of loss.
Yeah,
and they have their found family.
Yeah,
it's interesting that like you saw the live action and wanted to watch the show, and I would say that the zeitgeist nowadays is sort of like a bingeable, watchable mindset.
Yeah.
So that made me turn away from watching the anime. But when I thought of it as like, just watch one, you know, or if you watch one a week, you don't need to finish this thing.
Right.
Like, you can watch an episode like you used to back when you came home from school, and you would just put on an episode of something. That was all you saw for a week of that show.
Yeah.
Like, you could just put on an episode a week and just check it out. And then if you catch a storyline that's like, I gotta see the next episode, that's when you start watching a few. And then when it slows down, let it go.
Well, also, like, it still happens now with, if you have a Crunchyroll account and you're watching a newer show, or you're just caught up with whatever show, you still wait a week.
Yeah.
And then you're watching the subbed version, not the dub, because the dub didn't happen yet. It just aired in Japan.
Right.
So, I mean, you still can do that if you catch it. But, I mean, I doubt you're going to catch up One Piece.
Right, no.
So.
I'll get there someday.
I think you'll get there, yeah.
Or I'll die trying.
Yeah, it's your One Piece.
It's my One Piece.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, if not, you could read
You're on the
ahead.
grand line right
You can
now.
always read ahead.
I could read ahead.
What was some of the favorite things from the live action things you loved as opposed, comparing to the anime?
I loved that they kept it goofy.
Yeah.
I love that they kept it a cartoon world, because the thing about One Piece is the world is fascinating. They have so many different lands that you want to see them explore. They have so many different characters that each have their own arcs, and I love that they just have. And if you're going to make a live action show about a rubber band boy who fights clown pirates, then guess what? You gotta lean into it.
Yeah.
So I'm so happy that they stuck with it, but they also gave it the heart, but they also made it as badass as One Piece is.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like this is the same production company that did the Cowboy Bebop live action.
Yeah.
And they got a lot of hate for that because they changed it too much from the anime.
Right.
And I feel like they were like, oh, no. If we want this to work, like, just, let's give them what they want, basically.
It's funny you say that, though, because they changed so much. But they knew what to change.
Right.
And it's like, that's fine. You can change it. You can make an adaptation of something. But, like, I don't know what studios are thinking when the changes they make are like so off. Like these things, the things that changed were minute details that like wove the pieces together.
Yeah.
But they kept all the big moments that made the story the story.
Yeah.
And it landed exactly where it was supposed to.
Well, Ichiro Oda kept creative control of this, didn't he? And so he was able to veto some of the things that Netflix
he got to
wanted
work
to do.
closely with them.
Very close.
So, I mean, that's I
good.
think that's one of the reasons why
That
the show was a
helps.
huge success. Yeah. Because he was like, no, that's not going to work because of this. Or, well, that character would probably never do that. So, no, we're not doing that. So it seems like he was able to steer it to the the right direction. Where I don't think Cowboy Bebop had that the live version of it. So.
But now I would actually now it's funny if someone was to say, "Oh, they're going to make an anime adaptation of blah blah blah."
Right.
I would be like, "Okay, yeah." Which before was a death wish. It was a death note, you might say.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I would say though, because of how this one went, or I would say, is the director of the original property attached in any way, or is he supervising the making of the Netflix version? Because I would say it was a good way of it happening now with One Piece. So hopefully that happens with more anime down the road. I don't know.
Is there a particular anime you would like to see be put into live action? Like, is there anything that you're like, oh, this would be prime for that?
I mean,
there's shorter animes that have like one or
Fruit
two
Baskets.
seasons. Fruits Basket could be cute as a
well,
live
I think a
action.
lot of those slice of life anime though are easy to do because you don't have too much fantastical elements happening. So, I mean, but if I were to pick one that I would like to, and I know they failed terribly with the Dragon Ball movie,
Yeah.
because
do you
it
Was it bad?
it was terrible, it was awful. But the
I
thing
made
is,
Luke pay me back for that rental, by the way.
but the problem with that was they didn't stay in that zany world that Dragon Ball is in, because you've talking like dog people and things like that. So I think that's a lot of what was missing from it. Also, the fighting and the action and all that stuff.
And everything,
I mean, I think if the actual creator of Dragon Ball helped with it, I think it could be... Even if it was just Dragon Ball as Goku as a kid, I think that had more potential because it's somewhat still grounded before they're flying through the air and shooting huge beams from their hands and stuff like that. So I think the Dragon Ball show, the original Dragon Ball show, might have a potential of being a small series or a movie. But, I don't know. I don't really see that happening after what happened. So
I will say a niche anime that's one of my favorite animes of all time, Gakkou Gakusei, which is School Live. It's it has a live action movie in Japan. Yeah. And it's not completely faithful to the story, but my God, it's still just chef's kiss.
The live action movie?
Yeah.
Okay.
And also, if you like Death Note and are very disappointed by the American adaptations, Japan has a live action Death Note that is really good. So it's 2 movies actually. So definitely check that out.
Well, I know they've done live action like Attack on Titan and
I haven't seen
and
those.
Full Metal Alchemist as well. I think we're really close to seeing a live action One Punch Man happening.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it feels like that would be on everyone's list, a short list to do live action and keep it zany and wild and crazy would be the way to do it. Is there anything, Stan, you want to see made into live action?
Yes,
Evangelion?
Neon Evangelion. Yep, that's my favorite anime.
Yeah.
It's so good. I mean, Exo Squad to an extent was an anime. I wouldn't mind seeing that as a live action or just a remake.
What about Gundam? Would you want to see Gundam?
Ooh. That'd be interesting.
I'm surprised they haven't.
But which?
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, you already have.
But which Gundam though? Because
Gundam Wing.
Yeah.
I think that one would be fun. Or I forget the other one that was more like a fighting tournament, which was really good. But I'd love to see Zoids. I'd love to see more mechanized anime.
You
ones.
just want another fucking reboot. Or what's that show? It's Reboot, isn't it?
Oh no! I mean, I liked Reboot, but
do you guys remember Reboot?
Yeah, I remember Reboot. That shit was terrible, dude.
Or I just want a faithful adaptation of Beast Wars. That'd be nice.
That'd be nice too. That'd be nice too. But you just got one though.
Your prayers were answered.
I mean, not so much. Not so much.
Yeah, you're fine. You love it.
Yeah, that was good.
But what I would love, what Japan has done, there's about 5 Rurouni Kenshin movies that are just chef's kiss.
Chef's kiss.
They adapted it so well, and it was like the action in it is awesome. They even have he's one of the lead characters in the live action series, and he plays Zoro in the live action One Piece. So I was like, oh yeah,
he's
definitely
great. By the way, like all the action sequences in that film in the show, I think all the cast is amazing.
The cast is amazing.
Yeah,
and
great.
a lot of it, like it's on them. Like you can tell they're not stunt doubles or whatever. Like even the guy who plays Sanji.
Sanji.
Yeah. Thank you. Fantastic.
Yeah,
really
absolutely.
good. Yeah, really good.
You beat me with a whistle.
Sorry.
Does that mean it's time for our next segment?
What does that mean?
No, I accidentally got a little frisky with my whistle, and
please don't say that word.
Those
words in that frame. Don't do that again.
That's the T-shirt. It's right. It says "frisky with my
Frisky
whistle."
with a
With a
whistle,
picture.
Don't make me get frisky with my whistle.
With my whistle.
And then it's just his face blowing the whistle.
Yeah.
Slowly. All eye contact.
I like how I just faked blowing the whistle instead of doing it. Like,
Well, it's in your hand.
Yeah.
So with One Piece, what is the approximate number they're at now with the live action in terms of anime?
I think it's 1,098, but it's around that number.
It's something like that, yeah.
Over in
the anime?
Japan. Yeah.
No, I mean with the live. So if you were to take the live action,
they've taken storylines.
It's up to 45 or 50 or something.
Yeah, because they...
Damn, that's it?
It's hard to tell because like they go by like story arcs more than they go by episodes and seasons.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not completely done with the Arlong Park storyline, but I guarantee the way they've been trimming things, they're probably going to start the next season with a quick segue to get rid of those last few episodes, and then they'll go into the next storyline.
Would you want you know how a lot of anime will talk about what happened? Would you want them to kind of montage, something to skip into.
Netflix does
One
it.
Piece.
Netflix does that. They have the recap things for like when seasons come
Well,
out
I mean,
3
like
years
even
later.
it would talk about stuff that didn't happen on screen and just set you
I
up
wouldn't
for
like that because that's not
you'd
fair
wanna
to
see it.
the audience.
Yeah.
Which they wouldn't do though, because a lot of, I mean, I would hope not, because like it's so lazy.
Yeah. I mean, well, like if they showed still images as someone's like, well, Luffy got into the pantry and
I
he
don't think
ate all the cookies.
Well, I hope they don't miss that
That's a
story.
story.
Yeah,
That's a 15 episode story
arc,
Yeah.
Give me a damn slide whistle.
I mean-
I'm sick of this.
Here.
Come on, thank you.
There you go. Yeah. Hit it, Dan. Hit it.
Dueling slide
Hit it,
whistles.
Let me get a hit of this shit.
Hit it. Hit that shit. Hit that shit.
There you go.
It feels good.
Yeah, right?
It feels good.
Feels great.
It's a slide whistle.
You should
vape
bring
you've been
that to work.
developing.
Yeah.
You should bring it to work on call.
Guys, I'm so sorry. I lost us $450,000.
And then did you feel like, well, that's not that bad. Don't worry
It's not
about
that
it. Yeah.
I hate being here. Why do I come?
You get a free side whistle.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
There you go.
Exactly.
It's like the same as going to Chuck E. Cheese for an afternoon.
There you go.
Yes, I thought One Piece was so good, man. I'm not even that. I tried again with the anime. It was enjoyable, but I was like, I'll come back to it.
Yeah,
that's what I was thinking. I was like, I'll come back to it.
Yeah.
Take your time with
Yeah,
it.
but then watching the Netflix live version of it, I'm just like, oh my god, I binge the entire thing.
And more importantly,
Yeah.
you don't need the anime to understand anything for the
Yeah, I
Netflix.
know.
So
Yeah.
don't let that hold you back.
Yeah, I enjoyed Chad. I really wish you had watched it.
I want to watch it as well. So
I wish a lot of things about Chad.
That's
actually.
true.
I mean, it's hard to not wish
Don't
stuff.
prep up your whistle.
But
Don't-
what are you talking
Sam,
about?
go to the next subject, please. I can't.
No, but I'm still gonna plan to watch it. So I'll probably have something to say the next episode about
Okay.
it. You know, and
Timely.
yeah, no, exactly.
Super timely.
But I will say for you, Stan, maybe it would help if you jumped into a later arc just so he could get a taste of some different people and
It's funny
dynamics.
you said that to me because you used to yell at me for doing that.
I only
Whoa.
did that because you...
Teen Titans, I remember it still.
Was it Teen Titans? I thought it was...
the original Teen Titans. I would jump around to episodes that like had my favorite characters because I heard that the show was really good. And Chad said, "You're not watching it in order.
How dare you?
Well, I mean...
You're not going to understand it if you don't watch it in order."
You're not going to grow with the characters. You're not going to understand the animosity between Slade and Robin.
This
okay?
is legit what he said. Like, I wouldn't figure out good guy versus bad guy.
And you still didn't.
I still don't know who's on whose side. He was absolutely right. I'm sorry.
That being said, we were just earlier talking about Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
The newest game that came out. Oh, here we go.
That was a reverse slide whistle.
I thought you were going to try and do the Mortal Kombat theme with the whistle.
I'll do it. Yeah,
Oh,
let's
wait,
do it.
close your ears, guys. Ugh.
That
was so
nothing.
close. We might get a copyright.
Yeah, we might get copyright
from
strike.
there.
I mean,
Thanks a lot.
I think it was less than 30 seconds, so we're safe.
Okay.
Do I get
All right.
royalties from this show?
But, I
don't get
about that.
Not after that copyright strike.
No.
Yeah.
Yes. What are your histories with Mortal Kombat? Because what is it?
How I was introduced to Sega Genesis was through Mortal Kombat, and it was the first game that we saw. Like, I mean, closer representation of blood. I wouldn't say it still looked really cheesy.
It was red.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
back then,
Post to Nintendo, right?
yeah, exactly.
Nintendo-
But back then, we're like, what the fuck is this game? And then like you could have the fatalities, or you could like tear somebody's skull out and with their
That
spine.
like tracing of live humans,
people, yeah.
which was very new.
I mean, it was just the rawness and just the greediness of the game that like really fascinated us in the 90s when it came out. And I was in middle school, I think, when it came out. And so everybody was talking about Mortal Kombat. And then I actually played it for the first time and actually got to punch somebody and I saw blood splurting from them. And I
You
was
mean
like,
in the
oh
game,
my
right?
God.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else was
Those middle school fight clubs.
Yeah.
you said.
But yeah, then just to get over here with the with Scorpion. It was so good. What about?
Well, I came across Mortal Kombat first in like the arcade where they still had, but I forget if it was the first one or Mortal Kombat 2 at the time. But it was still the similar animation and whatnot. And I really liked it. I was obviously I think I picked either like Sub-Zero or Scorpion because the ninja craze of the 90s was a big thing. So I was like, of course I'm going to be one of them. And it was fun, very hard though, because it's hard to do fighting games with a joystick and 3 buttons on there. Like,
I hate the motion you just made.
Yeah, me just
especially with the slide whistle. Just
I'm so glad you guys don't have like a.
Chad just gyrating his hands up and down.
If you guys have like a Patreon with like a video,
this is for the OnlyFans.
Yeah, exactly.
Animate this.
Please don't.
He's handling his slide whistle.
But yeah, and soon after, through the glory that is Blockbuster, I was able to rent Mortal Kombat for Sega Genesis, but I will say, my first fighting game on the Genesis was Street Fighter 2, and then I had Mortal Kombat. So the difference between the two was so like vast that I was like, I would say I was not good at either. But leg sweep all day. Leg sweep all day.
Oh, you're one of those.
You're one of those.
Yeah.
It explains so much.
Of course he was.
When you get to your 5th time with Goro, though, I'm gonna just jump and kick him every time.
That was the trick for Goro. You jump kicked him.
Yeah. Watson?
So, long story short, my cousin had the Super Nintendo, loved Street Fighter.
Brag.
Yeah.
I had the Genesis, and it was all about Mortal Kombat for me, because yet again, you had real looking blood-ish.
Mm-hmm.
And, Liu Kang was my dude. I would play Liu Kang all the time. Bicycle kick, whenever I could.
One of those guys.
One of those guys. Fireball,
Fireballs.
I same thing. Arcade. I think I remember playing Mortal Kombat 3 a ton. Like freshman year of high school. There was a arcade by my school, and we'd just go there all day. And then, and then the movies came out, which are, some say
I have a story.
Good, some say bad.
I mean,
first of all,
what it was,
the movie's amazing. The first movie,
the first movie,
the first
soundtrack is undeniably the greatest thing on the planet.
But I will say, without
to this day,
that theme song for the movie, it might not hold up as good. I don't know.
Practical effects Goro.
Well, no, the practical effects of Goro was amazing, but the amped up what?
No good.
Oh, the amped up music that accompanied the choreography, the fight choreography, just helped.
I would also say that the scene where Scorpion is in the woods with Johnny.
Yes.
Ooh,
that's good.
Beautiful shot.
His little vagina hand opens.
Yeah, man.
I could do without seeing that in my life.
Yeah.
I have a story about the movie.
Go ahead.
So make this a quick one. My first time playing Mortal Kombat was at a Pizza Hut in Leominster, Massachusetts. I saw people fighting each other and killing, and someone did the uppercut into the spike pit.
Oh yeah.
And I said, "What the fuck is happening?"
Exactly.
I was really young then. But so for the movie, I bet I was really young. I forgot when it came out. I'm not going to date myself here.
I think 94.
No, I think it was earlier than that.
I was really young. Shouldn't see this movie young. Too young. Begged my dad. He has no idea what a Mortal Kombat is. I beg him. I plead with him. Like, can we please see this movie? He has no idea, right? We go in. The first scene where Shang Tsung.
Yeah.
Where Shang Tsung
95.
takes Luke's brother, Luke Cage's brother, and go, "Is it your soul is mine?"
Yeah.
I cried so loud and I screamed, and he had to take me out of the movies, and when I had to leave, I didn't end up seeing it until it came out later.
And as you're walking out, it's just.
I know. I was like, wait, that sounds cool. Let
me go back in.
I was so scared when he was like, "Your soul belongs to me," or something.
No, your soul is mine.
Your soul is mine. Yeah. I was like, I gotta go.
Yeah.
Dad, I'm so sorry I brought you into this.
Yeah. And such a great film. They brought him back for the later games.
Yeah, as a skin for Shang Tsung and Mortal Kombat 11. Yeah.
So I will say, I played the new Mortal Kombat. Visually, I was saying this a little earlier. It's very rare because I expect games to like look amazing now. It doesn't like really shock me. If a game looks amazing, I just acknowledge it that it looks amazing. This one blew me away. But like it felt like when you were watching an N64 and you were like, this is like movie graphics. Like
when you're playing like GoldenEye and you're just like looking at the, like,
this is exactly like faces. The movie. And you look at it now, it's like cubes. But watching it, I was like, this is like a film. This is like a movie. Like the capture they have. And the landscapes they do and the seamless way that they transition from the cinematics into the fights, unbelievable. Like they are truly NetherRealm Studios.
Yeah.
They are truly the masters of what they do.
Ed Boon.
And Tobias something.
Oh,
is he still in it?
Because that's the
new Cybot.
Right?
That's the only way I know that. Stop it, Chad. But yeah, so the new game...
That'd be your finisher.
Yeah, finish him.
Yeah, finish him. Oh, he's annoying me to death.
No, and then I blow the whistle, and then the guy's nuts explode. And then
Nutality.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't give away free ideas like that. That'll be the next one.
Yeah.
TM. The fatalities in this game are insane. Like, have you guys ever heard that the people that used to work on these games would go through like psychotic episodes, like they needed therapy because of the stuff that they saw day in and day out?
It's just so
graphic, and the stuff they had to research to like get those visuals and get those ideas.
Yeah, because the anatomy, you know, when they like slice someone in half and stuff, it's like pretty
dead accurate.
Yeah.
So like they were saying, like actually, like
probably cadavers. And stuff like that.
Yeah, but like they would have to like do research of like car crashes and all these things.
What happens to a body when you slice it?
Like the detail. I've watched a montage of some of the fatalities and this detail of when the body like caves in or explodes. Like there's muscles behind the eye that even captured to show that it's been detached from the head. And I've also watched a video of there's
good family fun.
Yeah, there's plenty of them on YouTube, but there's actual doctors or different physicians who watch the fatalities and like they'll judge them like, oh, that was very real, or this is actually connected by a certain tissue here that wouldn't be able. And then, but a lot of them they were like, oh, this was very detailed and very real, but obviously you couldn't pull someone's spine out of their head. That's impossible.
Well, we'll see.
I mean, hey, enough steroids, you can do anything.
Mm-hmm. Brock Lesnar can do it.
Yeah. I think so.
Mark McGuire did it, and so can I.
1994.
It's funny, too, because the cinematics of, like, the main storyline are not violent. Like, there's an actual story going on, and it's not just like, I'm going to kill everything.
Well, the point of the story is Liu Kang created a new reboot, pretty much, of the universe, and he wants peace instead of fighting.
Which they did that in the 9th game, right? Was the 9th game just called Mortal Kombat?
No, it was So the last one was Mortal Kombat X.
11.
11.
Yeah. The one before that was X.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Mortal Kombat 11 was like the end of where they did this reboot for this one. That's why this one's Mortal Kombat 1.
Yeah.
Which drives me nuts. So it's called 1.
But I think the 1 is less of like trying to say this is this is a new thing, opposed to it's like this is a new world in the story. It makes more sense like in the storyline that it's one.
Because I believe like Sub-Zero and Scorpion are brothers now instead of
it's
opposite
the original
clan enemies.
Yeah, so it's the original Sub-Zero and the second Sub-Zero, who is now Scorpion.
Oh, that's how
they're doing.
Oh, wow. Okay, I didn't know that.
No, I didn't know that.
The Li Kuang and everything is very complicated and also Sub-Zero as a character in general is complicated because like the Sub-Zero from like Mortal Kombat 2 was his brother because
avenging.
because
Scorpion killed his brother.
He became Noob Saibot.
Yeah, everyone doesn't die.
Yeah.
They just keep coming back as different.
And because Jax had arms in the first game he appeared in, and then in the third one he got his metal arms.
Oh, really?
That's why he canonically like loses his arms in every like movie and stuff you see.
Oh, that makes sense, I guess.
Because like in the second one he had regular arms.
Oh.
I know, you don't think about it because you're like, he's always had metal arms.
I thought he just had the metal arms, but I guess I was wrong.
I thought so too.
Oh, what a new thing.
Yeah. But the I will say the story, like if you watch there's YouTubes that go through the whole story of Mortal Kombat, like the plot, and it gets very interesting with some things because like I did for the longest time I didn't even know because I skipped the game or something. But there's a sorcerer named Quan Chi who set it up that Sub-Zero killed Scorpion's clan, and that's why he wanted revenge against Scorpion. And I was like, I had no idea that was a plot device in this, obviously, because it's a fighting game. They don't really... Back then, they didn't give you much of it.
Yeah, no. You had no backstory.
Until you beat...
They've done so good with, like... Because when it first came out, or, like, the first few games, they had realms.
Yeah.
Like, so, like... It was very,
I think it was
like,
9 realms or something.
Yeah, it was very vague. Like, these people belong to, like, these realms. And then they did a little more each time to, like, incorporate a story.
Yeah.
And now...
build up the lore.
And now the lore is already, like, has, like, such a good foundation that they can do these genuine stories. And, like, they're not convoluted. They make sense. It's more of, like, a conquering nation sort of story. And, like... It's but it's like a conquering story, but like people have powers.
Yeah,
it's a very cool world that I would never want to live in.
Yeah,
I'm excited for the new movie, although it was pushed back because of the strike. But
congratulations, writers!
Oh yeah,
congratulations,
yes,
writers!
As of today, they're back. Good job, writers! You did it.
That's right.
Stan must be happy.
I am.
No, we can't sell that script.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, they're not gonna be interested now. Like, no, we gave you a shot, buddy.
Yeah, you had your time.
Fuck off, buddy.
No.
That's probably what they're gonna do. Yeah.
But they have oh my god, I'm blanking on his name. From The Boys.
Patrick.
No.
Heartlander. What's his name?
I want to say Kurt something, but this is dead air now.
Curse.
Carl Urban, that's it.
Jesus.
Carl Urban's.
That took me way too long.
Yeah, I know. I was like,
oh wow, I thought you guys were a nerd.
Johnny Cage, he will be playing Johnny Cage in the next Mortal Kombat. So I was like, all right, that's cool.
Real good.
That's cool.
I love the internet's reaction was they really wanted the Miz to play Johnny Cage because he's pretty much Johnny Cage in wrestling.
He is.
He's a corny. He would be so corny though.
God, wrestling's so good now.
It's true.
I'd say different.
Next topic.
Next.
Stan, reach into your bag there
In
and pull out the
here,
next topic.
Next topic.
So what we do on Enter the Dandom is every time I hear that whistle, I'm going to say next topic, and Stan's going to pull it out of his hat.
Our next topic is the fact that we went to CreepIE Con.
Yeah.
Wait. CreepIE.
Excuse me.
CreepIE
Con,
which is for the Inland Empire.
Okay, I'm actually really excited to hear your tales about this. I saw some of the pictures and they looked amazing.
Thank you. Yes. We had a really great time. I'll speak for the boys, but I think we all had a really great time there.
Yes, absolutely.
Lots of fun.
I had a lot of good time. Great time.
Is it smaller or like what's it look like if you've never been?
So it's basic. I mean, I would say it's like a small Comic-Con. Because they have the same thing. They have the vendors. They never have too many panels. It didn't seem.
No.
I'd say it's like a very small Monster Palooza.
Yeah, pretty. I mean,
like
that's
a Son of Monster Palooza type thing.
Yeah, but there's more vendors that are selling like horror themed.
The main hall in the Ontario Convention Center. They had all the vendors there selling their wares. So we had a lot of horror themed stuff, which was kind of neat. And it was pretty spaced out. It wasn't too packed or anything. Free
to walk around very easily. There were still people. There was plenty of people dressed up still.
Absolutely.
For the con.
So and they had all the vendors down in the main hall. They had across from it another big room for autographs.
Yep.
And photo ops with celebrities that were there.
Yeah, like Jen Elfman was there.
Jen Elfman was there.
Dude that's coming. He played Opie and Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah. I forgot his name.
Yeah.
Tony Todd.
Tony Todd was there.
Jack Quaid was there.
Yeah.
And did you guys meet with anybody?
Yeah, and then there was another guy called what was his name? He's like an indie. He comes out with a lot of indie stuff.
Yeah, just a little
very well known
guy. Charlie Cox, who plays Daredevil for the MCU, and
that's who he was. Yeah, I had no idea.
I was wondering why everyone was getting so excited.
I know, and but no, I mean it was really nice. I got to meet with him and had my Daredevil helmet signed by him.
And you were in.
I was in full Daredevil cosplay, of course. I had to. That was
that's Dan getting hard.
Yeah.
That actually wasn't the slide whistle.
Yeah. Now, he didn't have anything in his hands.
Your cosplay, what episode is that from?
Well, that would be midway through season 2 of Daredevil. Yeah. So it was my season 2 upgraded suit. I had the season 1 suit I remember going to San Diego Comic-Con 2015 in the
black one.
No, I never did the black. I always did the red. But I remember buying my first one I bought online, and it was like this really bad pleather suit, and it was just hot as all hell. Like I was just sweating profusely.
It was Ben Affleck's suit, wasn't it?
It was kind of. And then I modified it a bit it was like WonderCon the year after that, and then I found a vendor online called White Sheep Leather, and they made suits like screen accurately.
Oh, that's cool.
So this is like it has the same venting panels, the same pretty much everything.
Yeah, is that where you got the sticks too?
No, the sticks actually got those from a guy in England. He's if you go on Facebook, there's a Daredevil cosplay group, and he 3D prints the sticks, and they actually like thread together, and then you can thread them apart. They have like the string, the line, it's like steel string in there to actually make them like look like nunchucks, and then stick them all back together. So it's really cool. And as soon as I saw them online, I was like, I need those. Yeah. So
maybe I could get that guy to make me the Danny T-shirt from
the Sid Vicious.
I'm telling you, there's Etsy is a great source to find these people, or
a lot of good stuff
Facebook groups for like you. I'm sure if you can go on like an intro site, someone will be like, hey, I've got that print, I can do it, you better be Danny for Halloween now.
Yeah.
Well, there's not enough time.
There's plenty of time.
There's plenty of time. What are you talking about?
There's not enough time to get a T-shirt, Chad.
Yeah.
Well, no, you need the Walkman. You can't just not have the Walkman. And then I need a red wig. That's a little much.
I would rather not see you in that.
Why not?
There's no time to get a Walkman, dude.
But I could spend $50 and get just a Garfield costume.
That's true.
Yeah,
I will pay for it.
There you go. It's on tape. It's happening.
Because I saw it on Amazon. So
it'll be on his Amazon wish list if anyone wants to.
My algorithm is fucked with Garfield stuff because of stuff I send you. I just have nothing but Sonic feet and Garfield dresses, like Garfield
I think you have little parts of Sonic on there as well. We're not,
and you can't blame Chad for that.
Yeah, you can't blame Chad for that.
Yeah, the feet is what I'm after. You ever see a picture with him without his feet? I mean, without his shoes on?
No, I don't really go out of the way to find
It'll keep you up at night, not the other way.
I would think it looks like a Hobbit or something like that.
Oh my God.
It's very much like that.
But
also CreepIE,
CreepIE Con.
Speaking of creepy,
and then Watson was in. People kept wanting to take pictures with him.
Yeah,
his Daredevil costume
really
was
cool.
awesome.
Yeah, it was like because I was always like never thought it looked great, but apparently people dug it. So
man,
got some good shots.
And Watson also had the glasses that Matt Murdock had.
Yeah.
So he was walking around the con with those. When he didn't have his helmet on, and then people would be like, "Can I take a picture with you?" And he put his helmet on.
Is Daredevil one of your favorites, or is it just that this costume?
No, Daredevil's been one of my favorites since I was a kid.
Now, I'm going to give you a very hard question to answer.
Okay,
Batman or Daredevil?
Ooh,
you better say the right thing. or get the fuck out of my house.
I mean, Batman is always going to be
There you go.
number one.
There you go.
But who gets laid more? It's Daredevil.
It's definitely Matt.
Yeah, he's a dog.
It's
man.
definitely Matt Dong. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently Batman doesn't go down on people.
Well, no. They clarified he does.
I'm sorry, did DC officially come out and say,
Yeah,
Batman?
they had to fix that.
Batman will fucking lick
They had
the
to walk
clean.
back that statement.
he eats Catwoman, you know?
Yeah.
That's what they said.
I hate it.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, I like that he does it. Wait, can we cut this? What time stamp are we at?
No, go ahead.
Jinx, you owe me a Coke. No. But there was also a small little rinky-dink arcade that they had
that's
off
right.
the
They had
shoot.
the arcade with all the classic
It was really
games.
dope because it was.
Yeah.
I thought it was like an arcade game that the con had set up, but it was a local video game store.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
And it set up like some like small games, and they had like a lot of retro stuff for sale.
Yeah.
Like that in old Nintendo 64 with the original box. That
it was kind of cool.
Yeah, and it was like $120 or something like that.
What I loved the most was a section in the corner was made to be like a little living room.
Oh,
And
yeah.
they had an old school TV that would have the turnstile still on it.
Yeah.
And he had Duck Hunt hooked up to it, and we were playing some of that.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this brings me back. This brings me back.
So
Yeah.
what stands out for you guys about CreepIE that you would recommend people go to it for? Because I this is the first time I'm hearing it.
Yeah.
So like, what would you say that would bring me in?
I like that it was smaller than your average. So like we all went to Midsummer Scream. Well,
Yeah.
at least Dan and Watson and I think Chad didn't go, right?
No,
Because you don't like horror stuff.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest horror guy,
Yeah.
but I'll support. I support
Yeah.
it as best I can.
Which is
So
funny
we-
because you're an actual serial killer.
Exactly.
I mean,
I've helped you bury bodies.
I mean, there
Oh,
has
looks too
no, I
fake
haven't.
as
No, I
well.
haven't. Check that back.
there's
Yeah.
there's there, but I the stuff I saw there was pretty cool. Like,
Yeah.
it's just I don't have a connection to like probably the closest one I would say is like Ghostface or Chucky, but it's not like I really really wanted to own something from that franchise. So it was just like, you know.
So like CreepIE is it's smart. So going back to Midsummer Scream is now massive. I remember
Yeah.
I used to go back when it wasn't as big, you know, like and within the last like certainly from 2019 on, it's really exploded in popularity, which is great because I love that people love this kind of thing. And we all saw how Midsummer Scream was. Like, I mean, it's at the Long Beach Convention Center in this massive auditorium where the AC is blasting, but it's still, there's so many people in there, it's still like hot.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. It feels like the AC wasn't even on, but it was. And but CreepIE is it's small enough that we weren't bumping into people.
Yeah.
You know, there wasn't long lines for a lot of stuff. Everybody was pretty much chill in terms of just like walking around and having a good time because you didn't have to worry about like, oh, keep it moving because there's a lot of crowds. You know, it wasn't like that. That was really my big draw. The big draw for me. I mean, the vendors are you're pretty much standard. Like they're selling like spooky stuff here and there.
Oh, they were showing movies upstairs.
Oh, right. I was just about to get So they were showing like old horror movies upstairs that were from like 80s and 90s, and they had like obviously times laid out for them, so you could just walk in there and watch the movie, and it was from a local
Yeah, it was
movie
sponsored
theater.
by the Freedom Movie Theater in Santa Ana. So they were up there showing Nightmare Before Christmas. Oh, no, not Before Christmas. Sorry, Nightmare on Elm Street and
Dream Warriors.
Dream Warriors,
Scream.
Yeah,
and,
was one of them. Never Ending Story.
Never Ending Story, yeah, and just had
That
them in
was-
there. So.
Oh no, I was just out of the list. Is like that one's just so side pocket. Like, oh, Never Ending Story too.
Yeah.
It's not,
But then we all talked about how it was really it like fucked us up as kids because it is
Big
kind
time.
of creepy.
Yeah.
no, I
it's
was
a fucked up movie.
straight as an arrow. I didn't have a problem with no.
Yeah, we were talking about like
horse.
the poor horse, and he's like, it came back. Like,
yeah,
but we didn't know that when we first saw it.
You know, I was more. I cried at the Rock
It
Man.
died from being
The Rock
sad,
Man.
Chad.
You know, well, learn how to swim. That's all I'm gonna say.
Horse.
But no, now watching it as older, it's like, oh man, that's terrible.
But Watson had a cool story when he went to go get his helmet signed by Charlie Cox. You walk up there and you like start talking to him.
Oh,
Chad and I were standing off to the side and we could hear it.
Yeah, and yeah, it was just kind of neat to go talk to them, and it's just like, mate, it's really nice to meet you. And he was like, oh, you from England? And I was like, yeah, from Nottingham. And he's like, oh, great. And we just kind of hit it off for had a minute, You know,
Yeah.
I mean, and he was super nice. He was like, "You want your name on the helmet?" I'm like, yeah, sure.
The great thing about him was like every single fan that went up to him, he was like, "Hey, how's it going? How's it?"
Yeah,
and he
he
was
was
like asking people, like
nice.
people had like stuff in their hands that they had bought, and he's like, "Oh, let me." He like,
Yeah, what'd you get?
He took like somebody had this massive a Superman pop figure, and he's like, "Well, let me see." And he like he like asked to see it, and he's like turning around. He's like, "Whoa, that thing's big. It's really cool." And he's like, generally like invested in each of the fans that came up to him.
Very
He's like,
nice guy.
he was wearing a mask, but you could tell he was smiling.
He's a good actor, yeah.
Yeah, he is a good actor. Yeah, he's probably like fucking nerds.
It's like, I wouldn't even be here if there wasn't a strike going on.
But yeah, then we finally went to go take a picture with him, and that was, so all three of us took a picture with Charlie Cox. Which was pretty
And they were, it was very well ran. Where they, they had a lot of time for everyone, and they just kind of ran everyone through. And I mean, we had our print already waiting for us pretty much when we come out the other side. So
were my friends from Dead Meat there?
Oh yeah,
we did. They were actually right next to Charlie Cox. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't. We didn't know them that well, I guess.
I guess we could have got up and said, "Dan says hi."
Yeah.
Dan sends his regards.
Yeah, and then they would have had us arrested.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
We've told him to stay away from us.
That freak.
But I will say that CreepIE Con is a great introduction to a con.
Yes,
in general. If one person has never been or is not, they don't like crowds too much because it's much smaller.
Crowds, like the way you think of like Comic-Con, is like what every con is now. Because like cons as themselves have just become a popular thing to do. Mm-hmm. So now it's just like, you can't go to little ones really anymore. Mm-hmm. It's hard to find them.
Yeah. Well, and you can definitely tell that, I mean, there was a nice like room where they did like photo op stuff. So they had like little vignette, looking like front of houses and
like scary mansions
stuff for photo op stuff. And I was like, like they're trying different things, and I feel like it's still very much in their. I think this is their second year. So
it is their second year,
trying to figure out what they're doing.
I also feel that the strike probably put a damper on them a little bit because they didn't have any. I didn't see any panels.
Yeah, no.
So I think if it hadn't been for the strike, they probably would have had a couple, maybe some B movie actors in there.
Well, because they had they had Rose McGowan and Jack Quaid from Scream.
Right, so they were doing signings and taking pictures, but they couldn't talk about anything.
Bitch went down. That's my favorite line.
Yeah. When she's punching the little bunny, bam, bitch went down.
Sam, super bitch. It's
so I didn't even see her though. She was. There was a huge long line for her.
Huge line for her, yeah.
And then I guess she was doing photo ops, so she had to go over there. I didn't get a chance to see her, but she was there, and there was a couple people there. But yeah, I think that if it hadn't been for the strike, they probably would have had a panel with at least one.
Yeah,
of them,
absolutely.
Definitely, I think Rose McGowan might have done one.
Yeah.
Of them, so.
Or maybe someone to promote a new horror movie to come out, like the
exactly. That's what I mean.
Oh, they
like
had
an indie.
They had
thing
the
or
little girl from Megan there.
Right,
cool,
yeah.
The
one that did
girl.
the physical.
No, the friend of Megan who befriends her kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay.
So
cool.
she was there, but running around. But
hey guys, speaking of all this spooky stuff,
yes.
The spooky season's almost here.
Yes, it is.
Have you seen any scary movies?
Yeah, have you?
I just saw a really cool scary movie.
Which one was that?
What was that?
It's called.
Oh, welcome our guest, everyone. Pete the Parrot.
I mean, he didn't have a name, but I guess, right?
Now he does.
Well, now he does. Welcome to the show. Welcome
Thanks,
to the show.
guys.
What scary films have you seen, Pete?
I saw
Birds.
Birdemic. It was very scary.
Don't entertain him.
No.
I saw The Crow. It was, man.
Oh, God.
Bird-themed movie.
Pete will never leave if we give him attention.
You gotta ignore Pete. There he goes. Out of the
he
window.
goes.
Oh, Pete!
That's the sign that Pete has left.
He jumped out the window.
Oh, Chad, you missed Pete.
Oh, what?
I've never seen them in
I
the
love
same room
Pete.
at the
He's
same
great.
time.
No, I saw No One Will Save You.
Yes. And
Yes.
tell us about this. Is a movie on Hulu.
This is a Hulu. I think it's out on Hulu here, and then Disney Plus other countries. But is a fun, I'd say, callback movie of like it's Home Alone. It's a home invasion movie, but it deals with aliens.
Is Joe
It's
Pesci
a little
an alien?
less fun than Home Alone.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't say.
Would you say it's like Signs? Just the
I
part
think
where they get
definitely.
in the house.
Yes, definitely more.
I will
Signs.
say that they did more than
Mm-hmm.
I thought they were going to do with the actual aliens.
Yeah, I didn't
Do you
think you'd
see
see
them-
them.
Do you see them a majority of the movie, or is it just part
No, you see
A good
lot
chunk.
of
A
them.
good
Yeah.
chunk.
really?
And also, there's no dialogue in the movie.
Yeah.
Really? None at all?
There's like one sentence said.
I mean, she doesn't scream like "Help!"
No, like she'll exacerbate like her
Yes.
sounds, but there's no dialogue. She's an ostracized girl, which they go into the story a little more of why she's ostracized.
So they're like, she's
is
on the
she,
outskirts.
Yeah, is she
of-
ostracized by the
She's
town?
physically and emotionally ostracized by the town. Like
I
she
see.
lives alone in the
Yeah.
woods,
Okay.
and in the town, it's a very small town, and they all hate her because of something she did when she was 12.
Do they explain it?
They do. I mean, you definitely know what happened.
Right.
You don't get into like the nitty gritty of it because there's no dialogue. They just like show some vignettes.
Yeah, I think it's really well directed because of that, not limitation, but because they were they're really doing something unique.
And the
with it.
director wrote it as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Um,
So now is this in like an alien invasion, or just happens to be aliens just land at her isolated home?
flat out invasion.
Yeah,
Flat invasion?
we
Okay, that's what I figured.
I mean, we're spoiling here, right? So
No, that's fine.
Yeah. If we're going into spoiler territory now,
because there's a good. I really dug the ending. I don't know about you.
it left me with some questions, but not in a bad way.
Okay. So I don't want to.
It
flat out
didn't
say it.
Okay,
but-
so there's a strange ending
Mhm.
that the fact that it ends the way it does not take away from the rest of the movie.
Okay.
I don't see that. I don't see this ending and say like, well, that ruined the whole thing.
Right.
Like you just see it and you're like, oh, okay, sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Because the whole thing is literally a chase.
Yeah.
In town, out of town, through the house, around the woods. This girl is being chased by aliens, and
And you don't really know why,
yeah,
and you're just like, it's so well done.
When she's in the town, do you not see anybody?
no, there's people they
Yep.
hate her.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They like give her mean looks or turn.
But I mean,
away
like when
completely.
if she's like running from the aliens at night, are they like looking out their window?
So
or-
like from what I gather from the trailer,
Yeah.
she runs from her isolated, looks like a farmhouse or something.
Yeah,
right?
yes,
Something like-
yeah.
So she
Out of the woods.
obviously she runs to town trying to find other people, but they've already been. This is in the trailer.
Oh, so that's
they've already been taken over.
that's the thing. It's
right?
too late.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and the people that aren't still don't like her. Like so, like an example is that the police station happens to be the police chief is the father of the person that she has harmed in the past with this thing she did. So he hates her, the wife hates her, and that means the police are not helping in this small town of like 3 police.
Yeah.
So she's basically on her own, and if that wasn't the case, they sort of like smooth it out by saying, "Oh yeah, but she's not the only one that's invaded. Like these guys came to town and they're infiltrating."
So in the
Yeah.
trailer, it looks like she goes into town and there's like people staring up at the sky.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, so it's like, okay, well, obviously the aliens did something to them. That's what I mean. I put together.
Yeah, it is nice because I definitely would have been super annoyed if it was no one believes her type
Right.
of story.
Yeah.
But it's not that.
I hate it. I'm so bored with
It's
it.
very Invasion of Body Snatchers.
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
very much like.
Well, and they've done these things before. These we have these movies that like it's like a kidnapping with alien invasion. 19 Cloverfield Lane is a good example.
This
of that.
kind of felt
You
like
know?
a Cloverfield
and
movie.
it seems like that,
Yeah,
right?
actually.
That's what I when I saw the trailer. That's what I thought.
even like the
Yeah.
alien designs.
Yeah, they use like typical grays for
Yes.
the most part.
Yeah, it seemed
but
like
then
it.
they like switch them up into like praying mantis type looking
Yeah.
grays.
Yeah, because
They
one
have,
was
like,
on all fours. It looked like
Orangutan looking
Yeah.
grays.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, there's
Um,
like 5 or 6 different forms. right?
Yeah, but it's like
There's
it's
like
just and
childlike ones.
sizes.
Yeah.
So like
It's
when you
really
think she's
interesting.
safe, like in some areas, then some other size thing will come after her. But like, it's a little ambiguous what their intention is with her towards the end.
Yeah.
But it's okay, and I think if you go into it thinking this will be, it's not light. It's not a light journey.
No,
but
no.
it's.
Or maybe calling a Home Alone was a bad idea.
But I mean, it's
Kevin McAllister is at it again.
You definitely think that she's going to set up traps at one point, but it doesn't turn out that way.
But aliens are in my house and they're trying to probe me.
And he slaps his cheeks and goes, "Ah!" But yeah, that was.
Did they explain what her parents is gone? She has no family.
Her mother. Spoilers. Her mother died, and that's why she has the house to herself.
Well, I mean, that's not. Yeah, that's what I figured.
Well,
but she's like
it's a Disney story.
Yeah.
From the trailer, it kind of reminded me a little bit about. There was a Christopher Walken movie called Communion where he plays a writer who went to the woods for inspiration to write a book, and like supposedly aliens come and there's lots of lights and they come into the house and things like that.
I forgot about that movie. Yeah.
And people don't. I forget how the rest of it goes, but the concept is
I mean, I will say that they don't. They still do like a lot of the alien tropes, like the lights and stuff like that. So, but I think the story's done so well, and yet again, like a unique way.
And the fact that there's no dialogue does make it like almost like an opera of sorts. Of just like they use music and sound to really tell the story. And
the soundscape is great.
Yeah, the soundscape is really good in it. It's on Hulu.
Yeah.
If you have a little bit, it's not going to ruin.
It's
your
a little
night.
tense, but I wouldn't say too scary.
Well,
not scary.
With you saying that she's been ostracized, it also like kind of reminds me of Fire in the Sky, but it's obviously not too.
Yeah, like that with the shades of Quiet Place.
Well, yeah, but like in the sense that after his supposed, kidnapping and whatnot, he is ostracized by people around him because they don't know how to deal with it or they don't believe him. So it's sort of interesting to have her already ostracized. Yeah. And then the aliens are coming, So I was like, oh, that's new.
And I do also think like, because she doesn't talk because she doesn't have anyone to talk to. And I kind of like the fact that like she's not just muttering stuff to herself the whole time.
Right, or she has like a doll that she's talking to or something.
Yeah,
like
just to like get exposition out.
So what you're saying is Stallone could have played this character.
Stallone could have nailed this part.
He would have played a 21 girl really well.
They come in my door, I'm going to mess them up.
What was that? Say that again?
No, I did it.
No,
you have it on tape.
Check the
just
tape.
Rewind it. Check it. Speaking of scary movies, I saw Hereditary for the first time, and so when it first came out, people really hyped it up.
People lost their minds over that.
People lost their minds over it, and I love horror movies. It freaked me out how they talked about it, so I didn't see it. And I refused to watch it. And then every Halloween, we'd always come up with new movies to watch. And it would always be on the list. But we would always be like, I'm not in that mood right now. Let's watch another thing. Like, because we like a lot of campy stuff. We like, we like some of the stuff. But so Hereditary fucked me up.
As it should.
There were some visuals in there.
Come on, it's a comedy. It's great.
So that night, when I went to sleep,
you could.
I went to go downstairs for something quick because I left something on, and the lights were off. And in that movie, the shadows are where the whole story is taking place. Everything is just hiding in the shadows at all times.
Sorry, I didn't want to disturb you.
Yeah, and then I turned on the light, and Chad was in my kitchen with milk.
I was just having a peanut butter sandwich.
Didn't want to wake you.
Dressed like Toni Collette.
They're all gonna laugh at you. That was a.
I was just clicking.
Yeah, but you guys all saw it,
peanut
right?
butter.
I have not seen Hereditary.
Oh, you haven't? Oh.
That's okay. You can spoil it.
I'm gonna leave.
It's been out for a long time.
I'm gonna leave some things blank here.
Well, no, I don't think he'd watch it because it
deals with
witchcraft and.
Oh, it does? No, I'm not watching it.
Yeah.
I don't fuck with that shit.
It's cultish. It's supernatural.
Yep.
It's family. I can't even say trauma because it was to the nth degree. But it's done by such talented actors. It is a masterclass in acting. Like, this is what makes people take horror seriously, is when you have actors of this caliber.
So, what is the story about? What is it? You can spoil it. I'm not. It's been out for a long time anyway. But
so there's this family, and it kicks off with the grandmother's funeral. What you discover is that this grandmother is actually the leader of this cult, and this cult worships King Paimon, which is like the 8th king of hell or something.
Yeah.
And Paimon loves a lot of decapitations. He's like super.
He's all hungry for.
He's
decaps.
so horny for it.
But he also loves boys.
But
Sorry, I said it like that, guys. It wasn't that way. Yeah.
But there is that's gonna be my new ringtone. So this and that. Lots of tragic events happen, but they involve a lot of trickery, manipulation. I'm blanking on the term here, but the spiritualism that the seance, that's the word, the seance that goes very poorly. But as much as the supernatural stuff scares you, and as much as the cult stuff scares you, the hereditary mental illness that is the through line of the entire thing is so frightening that you don't have a reliable narrator for too much of it.
Yeah.
And like when you think that you're like siding with someone, you're like, but I don't know if I can trust that.
Right.
And it's not because like they're the villain. It's just that like
They're got a sickness.
They're sick. They all are troubled with something.
Except the dad. I just felt bad for the dad the whole time.
I feel bad for the dad. He's like,
it's a living.
He is her psychiatrist.
Really?
I found this out in a bunch of explained videos afterwards.
Oh, wow.
Because I wanted to like get an understanding of like what happened at the end, because the end fucked me up. It
goes full bananas.
Apparently, he was her psychiatrist.
Oh.
And they got married, which I don't think is said in the movie. And if that's wrong, then it's just internet speak.
I don't want to be right.
Yeah, right. But yeah, I think so. Like him with his patient is a little something too.
Yeah.
But like,
I do remember when the movie came out, there was a big push to have Toni Collette get an Oscar nod for it, because she is she's so good.
It's like
she's riveting through the whole film.
She is.
And it was like, this is the one that the Academy is going to take horror seriously now.
And also in a world of jump scare horror, this is the king.
Yeah,
because there's not one jump scare.
There isn't. Okay.
There's not one.
Not in the traditional sense. Yes,
the scares are in your face for 5 minutes until the lighting just shifts slightly. And then you notice that thing has been there the entire time. And if you were to look back, you would notice it's there the entire time. There's some visuals that happen.
Haunting show on Netflix that did the same thing with the ghosts.
A Haunting
of Hill House.
Yeah. The first season was fantastic.
So good.
With the hidden ghosts in the background. Yeah. That show is fantastic.
Because it'd always be like, I remember the first time I saw that show, I would be like, what is that? I was like,
is that a person
what the
in
fuck
the
is that? Yeah. And they would never address it. And I was like, are they going to?
It makes it scarier.
The first time I saw it, I was like, is that a blooper? Like, is that some kind of like is that a netting mistake?
Guy?
Yeah, it's a netting mistake, right? Like, that's weird. And then it happened again. And I'd be like
a reflection.
Right. And then I would just like keep rewinding, like, is that what I thought I saw? And then like the cast wouldn't acknowledge it. And then clearly be somebody standing in the shadows in the background, and you're like, what the fuck is happening in here? Yeah,
they do some visuals in this movie that
it's like that
fucked me up so bad that I wanted to have the lights on. And that's very rarely my MO after a horror movie. I usually like, even if they're scary horror movies, I can laugh them off a bit. This one did something with the visuals. There's one specific one that got me towards the end when something is going towards the treehouse.
Oh, yeah.
And that fucked me up so bad, because you just see the shadow first, and then you see this thing happening, and you're like, I hate this so much. I'm going to see this forever. But I would highly recommend it, because it's so well done.
Yeah.
If you can like summon up that sort of like strength, if you're not a horror fan, it's hard for me to recommend this if you're not a horror fan, because it is scary.
Is it the same director did the Witch and no?
Yeah, the Witch.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
As well.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I think that the movie though is the whole time it's very unsettling, and it's like this creepiness that gets
ramps up
the whole time.
It's like white noise that gets louder.
Ooh, that's a really good analogy.
It's always there, but then it just comes to a fever pitch, and you're like, when did this get so loud? Like,
and there's no, there's no real happy moments. It's always like something very traumatic, and then something terrifying, and it rarely gives you a break, I'd say.
Well, that's something I was looking at was saying, like, in opposition to jump scares give you that quick release where you can, oh my God, that got me. And then like you can release it for a sec and then get back into it. This one doesn't let you release it. So you're constantly tense all the time.
that sucks.
And then when something bad happens, you feel awful because it didn't jump out and get you. It's growing on you.
Yeah.
And then it's just there with you as you move ahead into the next thing. Nothing goes away. There's no shake it off next scene,
Yeah,
there's always
there's
something.
never a moment to relax.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if you can, like, I understand the hype now. I get why people hyped it up. It did freak me out, like justifiably so, and I did go into it with like high expectations. But the thing that got me was how well done it was. So if you can like allow yourself to see it for that, and appreciate like the film as a film, I would definitely recommend it this year.
If you do like that, I would highly recommend Suspiria.
Oh, the new one or the original?
Well, both are really good.
They're both
but
good, right?
The new one, 2018, Tilda Swinton.
Yeah.
I think it's Dakota Johnson is in there, and deals with a dance school, which is actually a coven of witches, and it's brilliantly done.
The last act,
yes,
is insane.
It's insane. It's the same kind of vibe.
It's a very similar vibe.
Yeah,
almost. It's a very
good
Black Swan vibe too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, very Black Swan.
Yeah.
And that's how I'm gonna model my family after the one in Hereditary, because they taught me that's how
if your family was half as stable as the Hereditary family, I would be shocked. That would be scarier for me to realize that you have a successful life.
I can't wait for the NBC sitcom version of it's like how they
My
did
dad
MASH.
is 6 cats.
Right.
I think that was an idea for Halloween. I was gonna be King Paimon with with his broken nose, like
oh really?
And the little crown thing he wears.
Yeah.
I was like, that would be easy. I've seen people do it before, and I think there was one at CreepIE Con too that some person walked by.
Yeah.
She was wearing it.
You're
the
right.
outfit. So I was like, oh, that's an easy one to do.
Stan, I would give it a shot if you can.
No, I'm good. Thanks.
Yeah.
It's got black magic in it.
Yeah.
I'm good.
It's more.
Nah, I mean
it's not magic.
It's
not magic.
No.
It's magic. They're summoning a demon. That's
just life, baby.
Yeah.
That's a Tuesday.
That's what he does in the boardroom every week.
How do you think I've gotten this good?
Oh, so you're like the guy from Shazam.
Yeah.
That courtroom scene where he's got the 7 deadly sin demons.
Can we get a clean cut of that sound effect one more time? Stan, next topic. You heard him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, going back to Chad, you just saw Haunting in Venice, didn't you?
Yeah.
Speaking
cool.
of, how was that, dude?
It was surprisingly very good. I was going in
How was Kenneth Branagh's mustache?
Yeah, man.
superb. Yeah, I was jealous.
High mustache marks.
It's funny though because like it feels like they just picked the most expensive places to go to film, and then Kenneth Branagh in the cast can vacation while they film there and stuff like that. But I digress. The movie was very fun. The book it was based on is called Halloween Party. Mm-hmm. And this was obviously not called that. It was called Haunting, and
obviously.
How do people take this seriously? Halloween Party.
You can only get these facts here on Enter the Nerd.
Oh yeah, no reason to look it up. Just come on over and listen to the. But they, as I've been told and learned, that it's completely different from the book because there is no seance in the book. They made that up for the movie.
That's a huge part of the movie.
Yeah, it's the main part of the movie.
Well, can you tell us what's the synopsis of the plot? What's going on?
Okay, so Poirot, like that's how you pronounce it.
Poirot.
Poirot. He's pretty much retired after the last movie, The Death on the Nile, and he's drawn back in.
Like Death at the box office.
Oh wait, shit.
No, we'll have to change the subject. All right, next we'll talk about Tiny Toons Adventures.
But pretty much he's retired and he doesn't want to take on any more cases. But his friend, played by oh my god, I'm blanking from 30 Rock, Tina Fey, yes. She is playing the writer that kind of rocketed, into stardom as a detective, and she wants him to investigate. See, I'm blanking on actors' names the whole time.
Michelle Yeoh.
Yes, Michelle Yeoh. There we go. We're getting there. Folks.
Putting it together.
Yes, she's this famed.
Are we playing a detective game right now?
Yeah. You're gonna guess what I'm talking about. She's.
Is it a Halloween party?
At first, it starts out that way because they have all these kids dressed up in
Halloween costumes.
No. Yes.
Oh, detective.
No, but it's sort of like they're there entertaining because this house is haunted that they're visiting, and all these kids are there to just run around amok and stuff and be scared of shadows.
Oh, like intentionally, like they were.
Let's go check
put
out
there for
Haunted
like
Mansion.
the show.
Yeah. There's like a whole puppet show of like kids being trapped in the basement,
Performers,
and dying and stuff like that, and kids are supposed to
family fun.
Yeah, family fun. And so there's this famous actress who lost her daughter. She committed suicide by jumping out the window. And they're bringing Michelle Yeoh in to do a seance to contact her and stuff. And then as this is happening, Poirot is there to denounce her, medium ability. And he
So he's not fun at parties, huh?
No, he's not. He's like, I don't believe you, monsieur, and you could go poo-poo all over your goss. And
is it monsieur a man?
Doesn't matter, does it?
Mister?
Wow, dude, assigning gender there.
There you go.
What? But pretty much,
if you didn't think we were going to use those slide whistles,
to pretty much kind of spoil it, he kind of quickly denounces her, and then immediately after, since we're spoiling stuff, I could spoil.
Yeah, I think we give it sounds like this episode we've been doing like vague summaries, and then we give a little warning when it's about to get out deeper.
It's fine. You can spoil. It's fine.
It's hard. What
happens?
Pretty much, Michelle Yeoh dies like immediately by getting pushed off, and she lands on the statue, getting impaled.
Oh, geez.
And then they're wondering who did it of the party.
How did she die?
How did she die?
Clearly, she's impaled.
She was impaled. Yeah.
Beauty killed the beast.
But they're saying it was the possible ghosts in the house and stuff like that. But Poirot's like, I don't believe in such things. So, so he's trying to, he investigates each person, interrogates them, and pretty much, it's kind of like a
murder mystery.
Yeah, that's the word.
I'm really good at this game.
Yeah. No, but it follows the pace of your typical murder mystery.
Oh, yeah, it's your Agatha Christie.
But it kind of like teeters on, is there ghosts in the house? Because Poirot's like hearing these like this kid laughter and things like that. But it turns out, down near the end.
Do we want to know the real end?
I mean, I guess I could leave that out for people who want to see it.
I kind of might want to see this.
Because it's not like the book, so... You'll be surprised.
So, but did you recommend it then?
I do recommend it. I liked it more than the first, and obviously the second one wasn't really good. But the first, or on the Orient Express, it was much better than it because I think it was a little more unpredictable. Because I was kind of trying to guess who it was throughout the movie, and I was pulled in where I wasn't just like, oh, okay. I know this is the obvious person who did it, and I was also wondering, like, is it haunted? Is there a ghost? So
how would Columbo solve this crime?
He would like, I love your shoes there. Now, I saw these shoe prints by the door, and there was a bookcase where it opened up around the back, but I'm sorry. Can I ask you one more thing? Where did you get that pen?
Well, my mother gave me that pen.
Oh, it just so happened that wasn't your mother's pen. This is your mother's pen.
Because I was with your mother.
Damn, that's how he solves things, huh?
I fuck every suspect.
I take their mothers.
I take evidence home. But no, it was. I think this is. I hope it follows this trajectory if he does more of these, and he kind of just picks bits of the book out and uses it, because there were elements of the book he used in the movie but they were changed drastically. So, but I do like how it works. So
yeah, what's interesting is like it felt like the budget has definitely gone smaller as the movies went on.
That usually helps sometimes.
And this one I was like, oh, okay, it's a very small cast compared to like the last one was this over bloated. Like, they had
Gal Gadot was in
Gal
there.
Gadot and Armie Hammer.
Yeah.
They were just like, look at all the celebs, and this is just
that was another thing. There was less characters to keep track of,
yes.
so you weren't like confused on like, wait a minute, you talked, this one before this one and stuff. So it was easy to follow with the amount of people that you were trying to guess, and I think that also with the smaller budget, they kind of probably blew it on the location because they went to Italy.
Right.
It takes place
pretty much
in Venice.
But in one house, right?
Yeah, in one house. They don't really leave it. It's so it's just like they saved some money on it, and then they probably made them. I don't know if they made the money back or not.
This was also probably a pandemic movie as well.
It felt like it. Like parts of it.
Okay, we got to do a smaller cast. We got to keep it inside one location.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
But
I thought it did a good job, and I could say it would be a good movie for the Halloween. I'm surprised they didn't open it in October though.
I think I'd still go see it.
Yeah. I think it's worth a shot.
Okay.
If you like murder mysteries, if you like the French accent coming from an English actor
or Belgian, he's Belgian.
Oh, he's Belgian. Sir, I didn't see his movie about him being a Belgian boy.
Belgian boy.
It was called Belgian Boy on 2022.
Young Poirot, the Belgian boy.
But I really recommend it. It's one to check out. Yeah. Do that.
New topic.
No. And then Chad and I went to go see Outlaw Johnny Black and the Retirement Plan back to back.
Oh yeah, baby.
Yeah. Retirement Plan, latest Nick Cage movie.
Yes.
What'd you think of it, Chad?
Well, it was very B movie.
Yeah.
I was surprised that one made it to theaters.
Yeah.
It wasn't direct to DVD.
Yeah, no, it felt like it could be that or
it was
TV
weird
show.
Because there's some parts that did feel like they could be like direct to DVD, and other parts were just like, okay, this movie is pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't terrible.
The dialogue worked a lot. Like there were certain moments where I was like, oh, I could really, follow this more if they had more time to explore it. Like Ron Perlman was holding his granddaughter hostage.
Yeah.
And like the back and forth they had
was
really good. Like, because she's reading Shakespeare Othello, and he surprisingly knows Othello. He's like, "What? You just think because I'm a gangster I don't know Othello?"
Yeah.
And then they're talking about Iago, and like it comes to fruition and throughout the plot.
The plot of the movie is that Nick Cage is a retired CIA assassin, as a lot of people are lately, apparently, in TV and show and movies.
But that's the best kind of assassin.
Yeah, exactly. But he's just kind of like this drunk who is estranged from his daughter. He had her, I guess his son-in-law gets caught up in something. He works for some powerful mafioso. And he steals a flash drive, which we're never told what's on the flash drive, but apparently it's something big.
Yeah.
And so this gangster wants the flash drive back, so they send a hit team after the granddaughter, who it's been smuggled in her backpack without her knowledge. But eventually, Nick Cage finds out, his character finds out, and so now he has to kind of like come out of retirement to defend his granddaughter, and kind of use his old skills to fight off like these different kinds of like organized, goons that are coming after him.
Yeah.
And the way he fights them is pretty funny.
Yeah.
But he definitely gets like, there's some, it was weird because like the first couple goons, including Ron Perlman, sent after him, they're like big, like scary looking dudes.
Yeah.
But as the movie goes along, it's like kind of like it was like their director's like gym bros.
Yeah.
That are like kind of just hanging around like, hey man, you want a part of my movie? You know, and it's just like, so they don't,
running out people.
they don't, they're not quite there in terms of intimidation.
Like
the
suit jacket that they were wearing didn't fit properly, so it was like bigger than them. So it's like, okay. And like the way they held guns, like to search areas.
They didn't have a lot of time to research.
Yeah,
but there's some funny parts, man. There was a part where they go after Nick Cage and they go to Florida to track him down, or the Bahamas to track him down. Cayman Islands to track him down. Yeah. And they all hand out guns, and one guy's like, I don't get a gun, what the fuck? And they just give him a hand grenade.
Yeah.
So then he just walks around with his hand grenade like the entire So they're all like walking towards this boat with Nick Cage and what's his name?
Ron Perlman?
Ernie Hudson.
Oh yes, Ernie Hudson.
Is in it as well. And so, and they're both former CIA operatives, and then they're on this boat, and all the gunmen go after him with like, holding their weapons. This guy just walks up to his grenade, like holding it out, like he's about to do something,
like peeking through a window.
Yeah, exactly. It's there's some moments that are pretty good, but then there's some moments that make it like straight to DVD. There's a part where they have to, where Nick Cage like takes a car and crashes into this gate and explodes, and it's like you don't really see the explosion. It's just kind of like, it's like
some red lights flicker on someone's face.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like the car you see like a piece of it explode, but it's like CGI. Right. It's like, it's a rental. We can't really like blow it up.
Yeah, we can't really. It's like because of Mike's car. Let's not
exactly.
Really damage it.
So, but I mean, overall, it was pretty funny. It made me laugh, and
it had its moments. And like there was some. One of my favorite kills was they were in a hotel room, and it's one of the huge guys that was coming at them, and he like chops him in the throat, and the guy's just shaking his head going, and then he copied that motion, like making fun of him.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's funny.
Was that the character choice, or was that just Nick Cage?
It was probably just Nick Cage.
It was probably Nick Cage. But that's what I kind of wanted throughout the whole movie.
Right.
Of him, like, as he killed people, just be very Cage.
You want Cage to the extreme.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And he played it kind of reserved and normal. So, and I will give him credit, like,
you never know what kind of Cage you're going to get.
Exactly.
He came off as that grumpy old man dad type of assassin. So, but all in all, it was, I'd say, if it's on TV or you come across it on Netflix, worth checking out maybe. And but Outlaw Johnny Black, what do you think of that?
So I mean, this is Michael J. White.
Yes.
Who,
I was excited to hear. I really want to see the sequel. Like,
yes, because he did Black Dynamite.
Yeah.
This the spiritual sequel.
Same
Black
director.
Dynamite. Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a revisionist Western to say the least.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's Michael J. White is doing his. He doesn't do a whole lot of martial arts in it, which is weird. Like in the beginning, he does, but he didn't do as much as I thought he would.
No, well, and I will say I can understand that because it is a Western, and you wouldn't really have that unless,
And this is a callback to the blaxploitation Westerns of, there was a spaghetti Western phase, and there was a blaxploitation Western period with like Jim Brown and
in the late 70s.
And so it's kind of doing that.
Yeah, and the plot of this is that he's after, it starts off as a simple revenge plot that he just wants to kill the man who killed his father. But then it just goes into craziness from there. Because like every single time he goes into a town, he runs into, as he's trying to get to find this guy who killed his father all these years ago, he just keeps running into like crazier and crazier situations. He's captured by Native Americans. He runs into a priest they're captured by Native Americans. He like pretends to be the priest and goes to a town, and then he falls into like this like this town was like kind of nuts itself, and then he has to pretend to be a preacher even though he doesn't know anything about preaching.
Yeah, he's faking it as much as he can.
And of course, there's like, because it's a spoof on the blaxploitation. They take the Native American characters are like the whitest people you can see.
Right.
They look like Dan basically.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what does that mean?
They literally have blue eyes and blonde hair, the Native American, and it's just like, and they don't ever address it in the movie. It's just there, but they're making fun of how in old Westerns, it was like it was white people playing Native Americans. And so they do it in this, and it's like the funniest thing because like they make it so over the top on purpose.
Obvious. I love it.
And
like
it's just like
yeah,
and it's just we were Chad and I were cracking up every time there was like there was a one Native American who was like literally blue-eyed, blonde hair, and we were just cracking up, dude. And every time they speak, it's just like it's like stereotypical like racist, like oh no, and it's just nonsense, dude.
Yeah.
But they do it so over the top that it's just funny, because they're making fun of that.
Yeah.
So
there's as much as there was comedy throughout the movie. I mean, I didn't laugh throughout like as much as I did for Black Dynamite.
No, yeah,
because this movie is much longer. It's like 2 hours and
20 minutes.
20 minutes.
It's about a half hour too long.
Yeah. So
yeah,
it was a little too long, and it was just there was some serious moments where I was like, geez, this could be just a serious movie on its own if they didn't really try to go at it comedically.
Yeah, because there's a lot of religion in it. So Michael J. White's character learns to forgive at the end of the movie, which is what his father wanted to teach him. And there's a really like touching moment where he's pretending to be a preacher, but he's not. And but his father who was killed by this gunman. And so then he has to give a sermon to this his congregation who thinks he's a priest, but he's or a preacher, but he's been bullshitting this entire time. And he remembers his father's sermon the night that he was killed. And he recites that, but he actually understands what his father was trying to tell him about forgiveness.
Right.
Yeah, and about moving past hatred, and he just recites his father's words. And it's a pretty touching moment.
Yeah, no.
And then eventually, of course, the gunman comes along and he learns to forgive him, but still kills him. But because he draws his weapon on him. So but yeah, there's the final fight scene in the town is like they splice scenes from Old West, from other completely different movies, and put it in there,
which is very of that
era,
ilk,
and it's hilarious because like it doesn't even match the town or like the film stock is different, it's like completely grainy as opposed to everything, and so like this guy gets shot up his
stock footage they could find,
so just throw it in there and they make it seem, and it's just crazy. It kind of reminded me of Blazing Saddles to an extent of how insane things, and there's even a scene where a guy knocks a horse out, as in like Blazing Saddles. It's great.
Yeah, with the chaos of the ending, very Blazing Saddles, but also they were able to put in these cameos that wouldn't make sense at all. Like it's like where'd they come from? Like I don't want to. If you plan to watch it, I will. I don't want to spoil the cameo because that to me was probably the best part of the movie is the ending
at the end. Yeah.
But there were some great moments with Michael J. White just trying to scheme his way through. Being a priest, but also one of my favorite gags throughout the movie was his wanted poster. But
that thing. So
they had Al. Was it Al Jolson?
I think so.
The
jazz singer?
No, sorry, not Al Jolson. What's the? I forget. Oh, the Scatman from Shining. He was the
Scatman
caretaker. Scatman. Yeah,
Scatman Crothers.
He's wearing a cowboy hat and just smiling and
like
that's the wanted poster.
That's the wanted poster for Michael J. White's character.
Yeah, and they hilarious. Go, he looks just like him, and they hold it up.
And every single time they talk about the wanted poster, they will hold it up.
Yeah,
and like Michael J. White looked like what the fuck?
Like, that's racist.
And we started. We didn't expect it, and him and I just started cracking up. We were like, "Oh my god,
that's so good!"
Such a subtle gag, but it was good every time.
But yeah, I mean, I recommend Outlaw Johnny Black and Retirement Plan. They're solid movies. We saw them back to back. They were pretty good. And then we got to talk about Ahsoka before we go because the latest episode just came out.
Yeah.
Dan, what do you think of it?
So I think Star Wars is dumb space wizards, and
I
think everyone. No, wait, no. Hi, I am excited to hear about the new Star Wars installation Ahsoka brought to you by Disney Plus.
It's called Ahsoka.
First of all, you know that I am very critical of Star Wars lately, so these two...
Do you like it?
These two love... There are parts to like, but overall, it's so good. This latest episode wasn't terrible, though.
No, I like
it.
This
actually wasn't terrible. Yeah, it wasn't terrible.
I bet she's great as the character, though.
She's starting to be. I feel like this.
Finally. The problem is that nobody...
It took a while.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, I think
there's a lot wrong with the show. There's a lot wrong with the show. A lot of it is mostly that these are based off the characters that were in Rebels, but they don't act like they're characters in Rebels. They're all very stoic and very quiet all the time, and they got their arms crossed, and they all look mean and mad and upset, and that's the entire... Every single character acts like a piece of wood, unfortunately. And it's like, okay, can we have some emotion in this? And then the problem with the last episode where Sabine finally found Ezra Bridger after all these years, after risking everything, her freedom, her life, her friends' lives, her entire galaxy's safety for this guy. She finally finds him, and she's like, oh, hey, what's up? And he's like, hey, what's up? And that's it. That's literally the emotional context that they have seeing each other. Yeah, exactly, right? And I was thinking, like, I would think that they'd be a lot more excited to see each other. But hey, what's up, man? So, all right, hey, cool. And
My favorite part is when Ahsoka goes, I'll have what he's having after they eat some blue milk.
That's the best one.
That one felt right.
Yeah, no, it worked. I was hoping you would jump in for that.
So yeah, what did you guys think of this latest episode?
I liked it. I mean, I thought it was, we got a little more of the Ezra Sabine connection as they were like driving around, and he got to catch up a little bit about what was happening. He's like, oh, Palpatine's dead. Oh, okay.
Let me tell you something about the Ezra Sabine connection. It was heavily implied in Rebels that they were romantically interested in each other.
Yeah.
Now, for some reason, aside from Andor, you can't have romantic relationships in Star Wars. I don't know if that's a new rule that Lucasfilm came up with recently. I don't know what it is. But
you can look, but don't touch.
Exactly. It's like, I don't know what it is. It seems like that because now it doesn't seem
on
like
the internet I see a lot of relationships in Star Wars.
Yeah, old Star Wars.
Is it because the one relationship they showed, it was a brother and sister making out?
Probably.
No. That wasn't the one relationship. There was a big relationship after that.
They had one relationship and they had incest and fucked it all up.
No,
they ain't good at it.
No. Well, no. There was another relationship after that with that same female character with Han Solo, which was a big one.
That was off screen and didn't happen.
Then also Anakin and Padme, and
yeah, exactly.
Padme got lippy, and so Anakin.
Jesus,
what?
I was backing you up until that. Wow. I was about to say, Dan, do you feel stupid? Just as he said that, and I was like, damn it, you stole my thunder.
Like a guardian angel swooping in to carry me in his arms.
Don't you worry, I am there.
But yes, there have been adult relationships in Andor, in Star Wars, and adult relationships in Star Wars, and Andor had it as well. But it seems like just lately you can't have that. But anyway, I don't know what their relationship is in this. I don't know. It seems like they're but it doesn't seem like they're like, even if they're not romantically involved with each other, it just seems like they're like, it doesn't even seem like they're very good friends.
Yoda would have to fuck someone to get
Yoda fuck Yaddle, and that's who that's Grogu's parents.
I'm gonna Google this quick.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
But no, I think
you go down a rabbit hole.
That's who Grogu's dad is. It's Yoda.
Sabine and Ezra, they've been apart for so long. That's it's going to be a little weird their first meeting again.
No, like when you catch and here's why that's wrong, because people that I've known that I last saw when I was in the Army with 20 years ago, I could see them tomorrow, and it'd be like, it would just be like, boom, like, hey, what's going on? Oh shit, how's it going? And then it'd be like we pick up
because the sexual tension's not there.
Exactly. Exactly.
Well, it's hard for Ezra because his wife, the little crab person was right there, so he had to.
It did seem like it, right? Because she came out
and
after
he's like,
the
go
fight.
back inside, honey. Go back inside.
Yeah, he's like, go back.
Does anyone
I think
else,
that's why they let him stay.
You're
right.
Yeah,
he's fucking that crab.
Does anyone else think the frog woman from Mandalorian is kind of hot?
The what?
Yeah,
the frog woman,
frog lady.
Yeah. The one with the eggs?
Yeah,
she's kind of hot.
Like if she wasn't a mother, maybe I'd do something about it. But
she's kind of hot. You would
like
fertilize her eggs.
You'd
fertilize her eggs.
Yeah.
All right.
Don't you touch that whistle. If you touch it, we're leaving.
Do it, Chad. Do it. Sounds like he's letting out a fart, dude.
You didn't have to put that in your butt cheeks to do it.
Hey, it's the only way it works.
Yeah, so I mean, it was an okay episode.
Yeah. I like the fight, and her going like, "Here, take your lightsaber," and he's like, "I got the Force."
I knew he was gonna do that. I knew he was gonna do that.
Yeah,
I fucking knew it. Yeah, I knew he was gonna do that. It's okay. It's an okay. I felt that Thrawn was more of a I guess, more of a threat this episode.
Right. He's
because
more
people
calculated.
have really been talking shit about that poor actor, which I'm like, oh, come on, dude. So they're like, before COVID, and they show like there's a picture of cartoon Thrawn, and then after COVID, and it's this actor. It's just like, oh, that sucks, dude. Like, come on, cut the guy a break. He's been gone for 10 years, He hasn't been following the Star Wars physical fitness regimen. That's fine, dude. Who has? All those other guys under him are dead, dude. Plus, I think
it's hard to look good in a white tunic.
Yeah, and I think those. I think we were talking about before. I think it's true. Those stormtroopers with the ribbons around them are dead.
I think.
I think they got brought back by the Night Sisters.
Were they better shots though?
They were.
No, they were a little better.
They got some shots off on Sabine. But
she's got her armor. Of course she does. Yeah.
But
plot armor.
Oh.
I mean, I think that was
awful.
I know, Jesus.
They took their Beskar shot.
Oh God.
But no, the show is entertaining enough. I still don't have that connection to the characters though. I wish I did.
No.
So maybe I'll just go back and watch Rebels just so I can.
But 3PO was back. Remember?
Oh yeah, then we saw.
Remember Barry's 3PO?
Yeah, C-3PO. Oh my God, yeah. Okay, I was like, oh okay.
I don't want member berries. So.
Yeah. No. Yeah, Ahsoka.
Yeah, I mean, they haven't. I mean, it felt definitely like a filler episode.
Yeah.
I liked all the, when they came out of space and then the whales are getting shot, the mines and everything. Right. And then, because that felt more like Thrawn was like, no, I'm going to just put a minefield out there.
Right, that was smart. Yeah. They just started taking off. They just left them.
Yeah. So now it's like, now they have to get smuggled on that ship to get home or something. So
the ways Dan is looking right now, he kind of thinks Ahsoka's more like Ahsoka.
Where's PB the parrot? I preferred him.
But I just got to say, Thrawn's ship is looking all fucked up. Is cool.
Yeah.
It's like in pieces.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like it can go to hyperspace anymore because an engine was completely blasted out. I like how there's patchwork on the stormtrooper armor.
Yeah, even him looking at how many troopers were like being killed off, and he's like, "That's an acceptable loss, but that's it."
But that's it. I like that. See, that's why I thought
he knows how many troops.
That's why I thought that this episode Thrawn was more of a threat because he's like, "Okay, that's enough. I've lost. I can't risk losing any more people."
Right, and he's always playing that chess game.
Exactly. Yeah. So I like that too. Yeah, and their armor looks so cool, man. It's all patchwork and all fucked up.
Sick.
Yeah. And even his uniform is kind of tattered around the edges because he doesn't have a replacement.
It's a little dark and
It's great. That's great. Yeah, I mean it's a Star Wars show. It's gonna look good.
Mm-hmm.
The actual plot and everything else is
a little slow going. I want a little bit more.
Is there one more episode?
I think there is. I think there's one or two more.
Oh boy,
there's definitely one more.
Yeah.
Do you think it's gonna be on a big cliffhanger or just like a small little?
Probably a bigger one.
Do you think Luke will show up and be like, hey?
Remember me? But no. Remember me?
I want to know what's going on with Balin. Because he just kind of was like, "I'm out of this fight. I got my own story I'm going to go to," and
it's called Balin coming to Disney Plus this fall.
Balin and the Space Whales.
Yeah, that'd be a little hard to do.
Yeah, that actor passed like this year.
Yeah, sucks. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
No. You son of a bitch.
But maybe Balin gets eaten by a space whale. An old Pinocchio move. You know what I mean?
There you go.
Anyhow, yeah. Have you guys got anything else?
I got one more thing.
Oh, what?
Go ahead.
The next time I come on here, I want to be invited on once the Five Nights at Freddy's movie comes out.
When is that coming out?
In October.
October 28th, I think.
Oh, it's end of October.
Do you think
we'll do a spooky
Do you think that's
episode.
going to suck, or do you think it's going to be hit?
I think it's going to be great.
I think we should record during Stan's party and get him really hammered, and then we can talk about it.
No, I'll get canceled.
We'll just re-listen to it and bleep out all the bad stuff.
Oh, so the whole thing
will just be like, yeah.
I don't.
It's a constant tone.
No, it'll just be this whistle go.
And then, boop.
I don't know many things about life, but I could probably say more about Five Nights at Freddy's lore than I can about my childhood.
Now, is the store do you know if the movie's fault is I don't know anything about the Five Nights at Freddy's lore. Is that real that their kids haunt in the game? Do kids haunt the animatronics?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't know that.
It looks like
why are the kids evil though?
Yeah, what is that?
I don't want to give it away. We'll
do you
talk
mean?
when the movie's here.
That's not giving away the movie.
I just said we'll talk about this when I come back.
Yeah.
We're wrapping up.
Don't leave me on a cliffhanger.
Now the audience will want to come listen again.
Maybe.
They'll hear my voice again.
Do you think it's going to suck, or do you think it's going to be a hit?
I think it's going to be great.
Okay.
Just because Jim Henson Shop did the animatronics, and I'm really excited about it.
Nice.
I saw them in person, and it's amazing.
Is there anything you guys are excited about coming out?
Nothing comes to
Anything
mind.
you want to live for in any way?
Anything?
A loved one? Friends?
I'm excited for Not Scary Farm that we're going to tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
You guys are doing
I'm
that.
very excited for that.
It's gonna
I
be
thought
awesome.
that was next week.
I'll
you guys
see
were going.
you in the fog.
Ooh.
In the fog? The movie?
That's
Yeah.
a maze.
Oh.
I'm excited for The Creator.
Jesus.
That's coming out, I think, this weekend. The Creator. It's
Yeah, that looks
Garth
interesting.
Edwards
Oh, yeah,
movie.
The Creator.
Yeah,
That's,
yeah.
That's
I'm
interesting.
looking forward to that.
That looks really good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's interesting.
And then I watched the first part of the Continental TV show, which is the John Wick spin-off show about the character Wilson, the Ian McShane characters, like his start. And first part was good, so I think it's 4 parts, and each part being released each week. So I'll talk about more about that once that's all wrapped up.
The Daryl spin-off from Walking Dead already dropped too.
Oh, really? Already?
Yeah. Yeah, I was surprised too. I was like, "Oh shit!" There's already 3 episodes on AMC Plus.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I saw the first 2 episodes. Really good, actually.
That's he's in Paris.
He's in Paris. Yeah, they haven't explained why he's in Paris, but he's in Paris.
Because it's a city of love.
Yeah,
baby.
exactly. But it's actually shot in France, and it's really fucking good, dude.
Says the zombie.
It's actually really fucking good, dude.
I'm excited. I forget if it's coming out October or a little closer to the Christmas holiday, but Netflix is putting out Onimusha anime.
Oh, really?
I thought it was going to be more based off the game, but it seems like they changed up the story a bit, and you're not following the lead from the game, Sam Inosuke, but you're following Musashi, like a real historical samurai. So I think they're kind of blending it with history a little bit more. So
that's such a good game, dude. And it's a pretty creepy backstory too.
Yeah, but
game.
they are having like the undead, Geni.
Yeah.
It's the undead like samurai zombies and things like that. So
that's awesome.
It'll be interesting to see how they change up the story and
that's because that's a creepy fucking game, dude.
Yeah, I love that series.
Yeah, it's
I
such
wish
a good series.
They remade it like how they did Resident Evil and stuff.
Yes,
like that.
dude.
I mean, they still can. Capcom, if you're listening.
Oh, that fight on top of the roof.
Oh yeah.
I can't even. It's some kind of supernatural entity, but it's so good.
It was like one of the higher like demons with he had this double edged blade that like controlled the wind.
Yeah,
and you had to fight him on the rooftop.
Yeah,
it's very cool.
It's such a great game. Well, all right, guys. Another great episode. Dan, thank you for coming on.
Yeah, thank you,
Dan.
Thanks for coming on.
And thank you for CreepIE Con.
Yes,
for
everyone
passes.
involved with that. Thank you so much.
Creep. You know the song CreepIE Con. I'm glad. Yeah.
Oh my god. Just take us out.
Okay. All right, guys. That's been another episode of Enter the Nerdom. And thank you for listening all the way to the end. I know you didn't have to, but you did.
You guys made it.
You made it. You did it. You should feel proud and celebrate with another episode coming 2 weeks from now. But please, obviously, send us some mail telling me to shut.
The guy that closes your show.
Yeah, I know. I know, right? Yeah. You would think they would take over and close it out.
It's like watching a man drown and then just like pulling out a bag of peanuts.
They float. The peanuts float, though. The shells float.
Yeah.
So follow us, send us messages, hate mail, whatever you want. Dan, I'm surprised you haven't messaged us in any of the stuff we post.
Trust me, you guys have enough email on your own.
No, we get none. So maybe you could be our first. Just make up a name online.
I'm sure something I said about One Piece will register something.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure you'll anger somebody. All right, then, Dan, do you want to promote your? I mean, I know you're an influencer nowadays. You want to promote your little channel, your little.
Yeah,
little
you can see me on the streets and catch me outside.
There you go.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, catch his hands.
Catch his hands, and they're pretty slow.
He's still closing the show.
I'm still closing the show. If they're still here, I don't know why.
It's like locking up a bar. First you got to put away the dishes.
Yeah. There's some lingering drunks. I got to push out the door.
Turn on the lights.
Yeah. They must be drunk if they're still listening at 2 hours.
Exactly. All right. Enter the Nerdom exit. Dan is a big fan of One Piece, and hopefully he will finish it at some point in his life and not give up like he gave up on a lot of other things.
Play us out, Gracie.
Play us out.
Bye. That's it. Bye.